What's up? It's Marco back here on the Sage of Soccer channel. To anybody running through the Sunday matches of Match Week 12 of the Premier League, starting with Southampton beating Sheffield United 3-0. And good performance by Southampton, staying in the top four. Great job by them this year, really performing above expectations, continuing the form they had in Project Restart. But to start things off, they looked like they were going to win from the beginning. Just great performance, putting Sheffield on the back foot, and Shea Adams was able to come up with another goal. This guy's been on fire to start this year. I don't think anybody really thought he'd have this in him, but he's been an amazing performer. When Danny Ings went down, he stepped up big time, and he has kept that form. And now Danny Ings is back, and man, this attack is looking really dangerous. Scored off a scramble off of a free kick. Another James Ward-Prowse contribution technically, but I think that's more on Shea Adams. Later on, Armstrong found them another goal. It was a bit of a deflection. I kind of want to say it was lucky, but it was deserved for all the pressure that they have. And later on, Nathan Redmond came on and got a goal. And you have to really hope this will be something good for Nathan Redmond. I think a lot of people see the talent that guy has. He hasn't been able to really get it going this year, but if he can start to perform, man, with Adams, Ings, get Theo Walcott and Nathan Redmond on form, that is a dangerous team. So, man, that could get going. Defense did have a great game, but it's Sheffield United. I saw people shouting out Vestergaard for man of the match. He did have a great game, but it's Sheffield United. I don't know. Speaking of Sheffield United, once they conceded, it was game over. Thought John Egan could have done a little bit better on the goal, but he's the least of their problems. Once that goal got conceded, it was game over. You knew they weren't going to be able to score. I think their best chance was Sander Berge got in a decent position. It wasn't even, you can't even blame him for missing, but I just wanted to bring that up. He's probably him and Oliver Burke are the only players I trust on them offensively to do anything. Maybe McGoldrick too, are the only three players I trust to really do anything offensively for Sheffield. And man, it's not looking good. And I feel like Berge might just check out, start thinking about his move to a top six club after the year ends. But just all three phases, attack, midfield, defense, all poor. I think they need a change in system. I think that they're going to keep backing Chris Wilder. That's fair. I think he brought them from League One to the Premier League to top 10 in the Premier League. But, I think a four at the back would really help them, especially with O'Connell being out, but it's not looking good for them. Man of the match, I mentioned I wanted to give it to an offensive player because I don't think you can give it to a defensive player when you're going up against Sheffield United. So Shea Adams is who I wanted to give it to because, man, he's been on some great form. Next game, we got Crystal Palace tying Tottenham 1-1. Man, Crystal Palace have to be happy with this point. Tottenham got to be disappointed. Vincente Guaita had an amazing game, though he did make a huge mistake allowing Harry Kane to score a pretty easy goal that was definitely savable, but he had a great game aside from that. He was making save after save, keeping them in the game. They were able to get to halftime at only 1-0 down, and after halftime, they really got back. Crystal Palace got back into the game as they was really making a lot of things happen. Zaha was getting the ball into the box, and it really became more of a 50-50 game. Tottenham stopped dominating. They took their foot off the gas, and Crystal Palace were able to punch them eventually when, as a free kick got spilled by Lloris, and Jeffrey Schlupp was able to finish it off, and they were able to defend out from there. They have to be really happy with this point. Honestly, they didn't even play particularly well for Crystal Palace this year, but hey, they came away with a point against Tottenham. Maybe it was the fans that helped them. First game back in front of Selhurst Park for them, so great performance by Crystal Palace. Next for Tottenham, I mentioned that Harry Kane got an easy goal. I don't want to say it was easy because it was like a long-range shot. I think it kind of knuckled too, but it really should have been saved. Granted, Vincente Guaita saved a couple ones that should have been goals, so can't be too mad at Harry Kane. I think the main problem for Tottenham in this game was they switched off. They switched off, but they got complacent in the second half. They seemed to be okay with the 1-0 win, and I don't know how. Think about early this year, they led in a late goal to Newcastle. This is Crystal Palace with Zaha, who can win a penalty easily. He can make magic happen. We saw what Eze can do. And they just seemed okay with a 1-0 win when you've got the two of the top scorers in the league. You can go after this team. The defense isn't the same as years before with Crystal Palace. I don't know. It's like they don't know they're in a title race and that 3 points can be really valuable. It was really... I'm not too sure about that decision from Mourinho. but he's won them a couple of games this year, so you can't be too mad at him. Do want to say Lloris really should have saved that free kick. It sucks. Their defense was having a pretty good game, but yeah, they led in the goal, and that was all it took. For the man of the match for this one, Vincente Guaita, as I mentioned. Even though he did make that one mistake, he was making some amazing saves. Next, we got Fulham tying Liverpool 1-1, and great point for Fulham. Liverpool, man, they had a chance to catch up on Tottenham, but let it slip. So the attack for Fulham was amazing this game. You had Admola Lookman, D. Cordova-Reid, Calviero, he was even playing well. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is looking better. Anthony Robinson's really getting going. It's a great... Fulham are starting to look like a team that can stay up this year. Man, they're looking really good. They scored with Lookman finding D. Cordova-Reid for a goal. And yeah, that was deserved. They were making chances. They were looking like the better team against Liverpool. And I don't know if that says more about Fulham or Liverpool, but amazing result by them. So, after the second half, Liverpool really started to go at them a bit more. Defense held out well. I mean, they led in one goal against Liverpool. You're going to concede against Liverpool with their amazing attack, but they did pretty well. Areola's making some good saves. They're doing pretty well against the press as well, so good result by Fulham. I mean, the goal wasn't even that much of a... It was like a hand ball when they went up for the wall to block a free kick. And, great game by Fulham. For Liverpool, I think what this game was the fixtures catching up with them. They really looked devoid of energy, and I think that's probably what it is. I mean, even with teams like Man City who are playing well despite not even making many subs, I mean, Liverpool really get at teams. They press, that heavy metal football that Klopp plays. The energy is going to be short for them, so I think that's what's happening. The positives, I think Alisson was making some good saves. Trent Alexander-Arnold was making some chances. He wasn't the greatest defensively, but chances were being made, and Salah had a decent game. Not his best, but, fine. I would have liked the midfield to play a lot better. I mean, this was a Fulham team set up pretty defensively, and they couldn't really make too many chances for them. Wijnaldum and Henderson have been really on fire this year. A little bit disappointing. Curtis Jones had a really nice run that hit the post, and ended up hitting the post, so... Disappointing there. Fabinho could have given away a penalty in defense. I don't think he was playing the best. And is it me or has Mane not been great this year? I don't know. I feel like he's been underperforming. Just hasn't had any goals this year. I think they definitely missed Diego Jota too. So not the greatest result by Liverpool. Hopefully they can recover against Tottenham. Man of the match, I really liked Lookman's performance this year. He's been great for Fulham ever since he came in, besides that penalty. But yeah, he's been great for them. Next, we got Leicester beating Brighton 3-0. Great game by Leicester. It was really nice to see them go for it offensively. Don't just sit back. They challenged this Brighton team, and they won. Now, it should be said that Brighton were making a couple of good chances early, and Kasper Schmeichel was keeping them in the game. He made a couple of really nice saves on Umpai and Welbeck. Really decent game by him. Defense was allowing some chances, but they are going to get back to full health pretty soon, so can't be too mad at that. In the midfield, Tielemans and Ndidi were just amazing today. Tielemans his passing's been amazing. He's a great player. He's really coming to his own this year, fulfilling the potential that I think everybody knew he had. And great job by him. James Justin had a great game as well. Defensively he was letting Solly March get open a bit, but offensively he's awesome. He had a couple cross that led to the first goal, directly assisted the second one. And Ricardo Pereira and Castagna are going to be coming back, but can you drop James Justin at this point? I think he can play a center back as well if they want to stick at the three at the back, but he's been amazing. It's going to be tough to justify dropping him. James Maddison had a great performance, 2 goals. Great game, finishing well. He was dribbling really well. Got a nice curler for his second. I think it was Leicester's third. And Vardy picked up a goal as well. Not as his best game. He's missed a couple of chances, but it's Vardy. He still came with a goal. Great performance by Leicester. So for Brighton, I think the main takeaway from this game is something that we already knew, and that's they need a goal threat. Because they were making a lot of chances early in the game. They could have came away with the lead, but just didn't happen. Umpai, Welbeck, they missed some pretty decent chances. I don't know who they can bring in, but just until they get that striker, they're probably going to be in that relegation battle that they're still in. So yeah, that's disappointing. Solly March was great. He was getting open a lot. He was making those chances for Welbeck and Umpai, but Really good performance by him. Man, their fullbacks have been great this year. Even Faltman, for filling in for Lamptey, he was doing well. The defense wasn't a great performance by them, obviously conceding 3 goals. Even if they are going to play attacking, I mean, not great. And I want somebody to explain this Ben White hype to me. I mean, I get he's a young center back, he's pretty good on the ball, but he had a good season in the championship, and he's not been doing great in the Premier League. I don't see the Ben White hype. Honestly, this is kind of I don't know if this is a compliment or an insult, but right now, Brighton kind of reminded me of Arsenal. I mean, I like their fullbacks. Lamptey and March are looking good, even Faltman, as I mentioned. One good midfielder in Basuma, but weak attack. Technical midfield, but they're not going to win them any games. Yeah, pretty disappointing in this Brighton team. Probably have as good a defense as Arsenal as well. Man, the match for this one is James Maddison. Oh, God, we have to talk about this game. Arsenal lost to Burnley 1-0. So just getting Burnley out of the way. It's a Burnley game. You can't talk too much about it. Great defensive performance. I mean, pretty good luck on an own goal. They did make a good chance for Chris Wood that he missed. Nick Pope made some good saves, but he honestly didn't really deserve to win. For Arsenal, I mean, it's bad. Their defense is bad. Allowing chances, there's no communication, like offsides mistakes, their attack can't find a goal. Honestly, there's been criticism I saw of too many crosses, but they're really making some chances. They just couldn't put it away. They're too reliant on Saka, who's a teenager. You can't rely on a teenager to be your best player. Man, just not good enough in the midfield. Xhaka, another dumb mistake. Arteta, okay, I think that they need to find some players who want to play for them. I feel like I should make an Arsenal-specific video because there's just too much I want to talk about. And yeah, it's awful. Man of the match, Nick Pope for Burnley, and yeah, that's all I have to say about that game. Yeah, some crazy Sunday games, a lot of big teams dropping points, and yeah, interesting results. Yeah, I'll see you.